I'm Steve.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Much better now that I guess I'm
So what was it like growing up?
Well, I was kind of born and brought up on a farm. And the farm, once the flood control took over, we lost our farm on West Hill. And that's where the flood control dam. That was our fields, pastures for the cattle. So the government bought all the land, and you had no choice. It worked out anyway. Having the use of the farm through the government to make a flood control dam. But my dad had grown up. Us kids had all grown up and left home, so there was nothing left for them but to give up the land for a better cause, I guess you would say. A flood control dam.
So where'd you live after they gave up the farm?
Well, I got out of high school in 1946. I graduated from high school. My first job that I had after I got out of high school was I was a telephone operator. And then I married Gordon Lombard. I've had 3 boys, and I'm still going. I was 96 the day after Christmas, so I've just years starting, but I still have things to do and places to go, and I want to continue as long as I'm able. That's what keeps you going, I guess. Just determination. So that's the story of my life. After I married, had the kids, I was service manager at Okemo at the ski resort for 21 years. So I had, after my husband died in 1995, the kids said to me, "Mom, you've got to get out of that. Going to work in the dark in the morning, coming home at night." So I said, well, I'll work 1 more year, and then I will find something. Because after Gordon died, I had to work. So I guess almost the day that I left the mountain, the superintendent of the schools called me, wanted me to do the hot lunch program at school. I said, no, that's jumping from the frying pan into the fire. I've done that for many years, and I want something different. Well, Sophie Woodlack, who was a good friend, I met her one day, not too long after I left the mountain. She said, you know, they need someone at school in special ed to help the special ed kids. And then from then on until I was, I had been close to 80, I worked in a school program at special ed. And then from there, it's kind of downhill. You're on the other side of the world. But I'm still going. I keep telling them I've got things to do and places to go. And I want to, as long as I'm able to. It's pretty hard when you don't drive anymore. I gave up my car when I was 92, I think. The kid said, "Ma, you gotta give up your car if you ever have an accident. You know, you break a bone, you're done." So I gave up my car, which was a big mistake. Once you lose your way of going places, everything stops. I have to depend on someone else. I live now with Mark and Beth, way out on 20 Mile Street. And it's, it's tough, especially this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been slippery, it's been muddy, it's been, you can lose the bottom of your car in the mud, in the mud. And then it thaws out or it freezes up and it's hard again. So it's hard for people to drive way out there in the wintertime. And I did live for many, many years on 2 Palm Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's the house just before you go to Berkeley Park. But I had to go and live with Mark and Beth because as I got older, I couldn't climb up and down stairs. They thought I couldn't, but I couldn't. But so I've been with Mark and Beth, about a year now. Got a nice place. But the only thing is, my friends, when I lived on Palm Street, they want to go somewhere, they couldn't buy the house. Hey Liz, you want to go to Market? And I said, yeah. And I'd go with them, but now they live way out there. Their time is valuable too, and I can't expect them to drive further if they've got an appointment to handle.
So that house was pretty convenient, huh?
Yeah.
What was it like to live right next to that train track right there, right before where the tennis courts are, Theo? That's where she lived, right there.
They loved that train. Mark, who was the oldest, we lived down on Lower Pleasant Street, and every time he heard the train go by, he'd run to the window. And we named him back then, we always called him Tutu, because he loved that train. But you got used to it after a while. You never heard it, even in the night. And they don't run it that often anymore. So that's the story of where I live. And I still own the house. I'm going there. The nephews, my grandchildren want to buy it. They said to hold it till spring, and they're going to buy the house. Mark and Jake and Joel Lombard. They're going to buy the house, and I guess just to fix it up and rent it. So that's, I've owned the house, I've lived there. I don't know, I've lived there probably from 1950, 52, 53, somewhere along in there. I've owned that house since. And it's home, but it can't be home anymore because I can't live there by myself. Bert, the youngest, works in GE in Rutland, and he, for several years, traveled back and forth, and just about a couple of weeks ago, he finally got a place in Rutland. So he's moved out of my house, and he lives in an apartment in Raleigh. He's closer to the gym and the tennis court. He took up tennis. He likes to play golf, and he works in GE. Mm-hmm. And he was traveling back and forth to go to the gym, and he'd come home and have to be at work at 2:30. So that's driving, a lot of driving for him. And I can understand him wanting to live in Rutland, because that's where his job is. And he'll be retired in a couple of years. So more convenient for him. And that's my whole story, I guess.
Well, Liz, you've got a lot. Yeah.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah. Do you remember the old GE plant and any of the old mills?
Oh, yeah. I go way back when that was a woolen mill. GE came in. My husband was in service at that time. He got called back in the National Guard, and most of his group went to Germany. But Gordon's time was up, so he stayed in this country. They sent him to California. He spent months on the Mojave Desert taking tank training, which he never used. And because they wanted him to re-enlist and go with the group back to Germany, but he said no. He'd been in the Guards for many years, but he did stay in the Guards when he came back to the States for a while because he liked the military, I guess. And it was once a month they had meetings, and it was a little extra income back then. So, but he went to work when he got out of the service. The second time, the GE was just starting at the mill there in Ludlow, and Walt Offer saw Gordon on the street or somewhere and asked him what he was going to do when he got out. He said he didn't know. He said, when you get out, you come here and you'll have a job in GE. And practically 2 days after he got home, he was working in GE it was an old woolen mill, just like Brook was an old woolen mill too. And he worked in GE until he retired. So it was a good source of income for Ludlow. But then when the flood hit it, and it washed it out, they decided they'd better get out of there because it was right on the river. And we had, 3 or 4 lakes beyond us, and every time we got high water, they got washed out. So they moved to Rutland, and everyone that worked in Ludlow worked in GE in Rutland. And Gordon did until he retired. He passed away in 1985, and I've been by myself ever since. Had the 3 boys. Craig, the middle one, lives in Florida. Mark is just retiring, trying to retire. He's a master plumber, and he's been trying to retire. But if you do good work, people don't listen to retirement. They want you, they've got work for you, they want you to do that. But he's on his last big job because he's 76.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's still trying to get out of not working so hard, but he's always worked hard. And Kurt is the youngest, and Kurt is 57, 58. And he'll be retiring in a couple of years from GE. So my kids, my family, they're all, I was 96 the day after Christmas. So I got to be along that age when I got a kid that's 76 years old. So that's the story of my life. Anything else?
Anything else?
At the museum and the academy and the museum, when they first did the streets of Main Street, back when I remember it, I did a lot of reminiscing on that and things that I remember where stores were, and the banks, and all the grocery stores. It was totally different than it is now. Time changes things. So that's my story. I made a lot of good friends in Ludlow, and they still come up to see me. I had Karen Tromboli and Patty Bartlett come in the other day, and they came to the house one time last fall with their guitar and ukulele. We had a nice sing-along in Mark's house. So I told them when they were here last week, I said, next time you come, bring your ukulele and your guitar, and we'll have a sing-along here. So hopefully they will. And I worked with them at school. Karen was the principal at the time in the elementary school. Patty Bartlett was special ed, and then she went on to do different things. So I've seen a lot of the teachers come and go. Used to go to art class with your wife. She was a crackerjack. She knew her stuff. That was probably my favorite subject, was art, because I took up oil painting back years ago. I went to classes and did, you know how you see the foliage in the fall, and you think, I wish I could paint that. I used to think that all the time. And I did. Once I went to art class, I have pictures at home of the foliage in the fall. I worked with Heidi Bates, and she was a 6th grade teacher, and I worked with her. Most of the teachers that I go to DJs with on every other Tuesday are all people that retired that worked at school. So we have a good time, a good meal. We call it the book club, but I guess the only book we read is the menu. That's our book club. But we stay together, and I can't go as often. Mark said, you know, the weather is convenient. He would make sure that I got the book club. So, but since I haven't felt that good, the weather's been bad. They've had to cancel book club. So, but we'll get back to it. We'll get back to book club. There's probably, I think usually if everyone's there, there's 9 of us. And we all work somewhere along in the education, in the elementary school. Even the high school, Sue Pollender work comes to book club. And she was a high school teacher. So it's...
We met Sue Pollender at the museum.
I'm sure she does a lot of volunteer work. And then she works in Plymouth at the Calvin Coolidge homestead in the summertime.
Yes.
And does tours of people. She's probably the only one that I know of that works in that capacity. But she's good. Otherwise, she wouldn't be there.
So I was wondering real quickly about the dam. You said that used to be your home.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one where the recreation area is, or the other dam number 5?
On West Hill by the dam.
The one right where the recreation is. That's where
that
you
was
were.
That farmhouse.
That was their farmhouse.
That was the farmhouse. My brothers both built houses there.
Yeah.
And Harry, my brother that's a year older than I am, He lives in the first house as you get to the top of the hill. And our farmhouse was the second house, the third house. Somebody built a great big ark on the place.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes. And they kind of did it without permission. So.
Do you think that those dams helped the town?
Oh, yeah.
You could tell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we've got how many lakes above us?
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
5, and those get high. And there's streams that come from down Western Mountain, down Okemo Mountain, down Buttermilk Falls. So all the way around us, there's brooks that go into that lake water too.
Yeah.
And anytime by the fire station, they probably had the worst. They had a car that was sitting up on a mud pile.
Yeah.
When it taken out during that.
You, as a child, you must have had some good swimming spots.
Oh yeah, yes. We had, that was before the dams were ever put in. We would dam up the brook on the farm. That's how I learned how to swim. I was 5 years old, and we were down at the swimming hole. And my brother, I don't know which one it was, pushed me in. And you learn how to swim pretty fast. And splashing around in water over your head. That's where I learned how to swim. And my brother pushed me in there. And we were drowned and swim. So I learned fast that day. But that's about the whole.
Thank you.
I guess I love my mountain.
Well, we want to thank you, Liz. Right, Theo?
Yes.
All right.
You remember me to merely.
I will certainly do that. Maybe I can get her to go to the book club with
You're
you.
Right, there you go.
Yeah. So when you're out of here too, we're going to have a gathering of the different. Earl Washburn has talked with us.
Oh yeah.
You
I
know
Joyce very well.
Yeah.
I
Sharon
know.
Bixby.
Sharon.
Yep.
I know very well.
I know it. So, you know, Chuck Bostock.
Chuck Bostock.
Yeah. So we've had interviews with all of these people, and we're going to have you guys come and we'll have some coffee and donuts in a couple weeks. I hope you're on your feet then.
That sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan?
Well,
All right.
my kidneys got acting up on me. And when your kidneys are mad at you, and I had a touch of pneumonia,
Yep.
and the kidneys, I drink a lot of
Cranberry. Yeah.
juice because that's good for the kidneys.
Yes.
So,
Well, if you can't come down and have coffee and donuts, we'll bring it up again.
oh, that's good. But I like to get down like there. If I'm able to, because Mark will take me anywhere I want to go.
Yes, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Yes.
Kurt would too. He's a go. So Mark is
Before you were there, like, I'm not gonna make sure the lights are going off.
he's the driver when I make sure I always get the book club if I'm able to. And that's on a Tuesday night usually. This winter it's been every other week. But Tuesday nights have sometimes not been very good. So they've had to cancel some of them. They get back, I said, don't ever let that go. Don't ever let book club go. Because there's too many good people that go to book club.
Yes, they read the menu.
And on that, we'll have to close the interview.
Yeah.
You're quite welcome. It's good to have you both come and get a little bit of taste of Ludlow the way I do.
Yes.
I think. Good, good, good.